Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. This is the first video with the new name change. So welcome to Revved Up Montana. I am your host, Jared. That's my name. I haven't said it, I don't think, on any of the other videos, but my name is Jared. And today I got something fun for you for the first video of the year. As you can, finally got a little bit of snow. And currently we are in a winter storm warning. That we're supposed to start getting some snow after 11. I see it's just now starting to snow a little bit, so I'm going to try and get this video filmed before it gets bad. We do have some weather coming in this week. We're supposed to get snow all throughout the week, and then towards the end of the week it's supposed to be well below zero. We're going to have an Arctic cold front coming in, so probably do some filming then to see if any of my junk will start then. But for now, I want to thank you guys all for sticking with me for the year. And as always, I do not have a script or edit, or I leave all my mistakes in. Just get that out of the way right now. So it makes it fun for you guys to see how stupid and screwed up I really am. But we'll try and do this as brilliantly as possible. Right now, I have a fun one for you. We are going to look at these two vehicles here. Both of these are GMT 800s. So from 1999 to 2006 and early 2007, you can get the GMT 800 platform, which some say is one of the most reliable platforms there was on the market at the time. Both of these vehicles are rated at half ton, but they couldn't be any farther different than from each other than what they are. So, oh, and by the way, just a heads up, I am filming on my phone, Galaxy Samsung S21 Ultra. I'm having problems with my GoPro. I've had it plugged in for 3 days and it's only got a 25% charge. So I'm not real happy with the GoPro. The audio usually is really bad too. So we're looking to do some upgrades this year and hopefully get maybe like a wireless lapel mic or something that I can Bluetooth to either the phone or the GoPro. I don't know what I'm going to do, but for now we're going to start with this. And you might hear some traffic behind me. We live on a road, so let's get back to the vehicles. So we'll start off with the oldest one first, and that would be this one, 2003 Silverado 1500 HD. Now the HD is where we get into the differences between the regular half ton on the Yukon. So in the HD package, you get basically 3/4 ton suspension. So we have 8 lug wheels, heavier duty suspension. This particular truck, I've owned this one for 4 years, but this particular truck, when I bought it, I had talked to the previous owner. They had blown up the original 1500 HD rear end and upgraded it to a 2500 HD rear end, which has got a bigger ring and pinion gear. I think it came out of a Duramax, so it's got a Duramax rear end and driveline, maybe a little bit bigger brakes, I think. Not for sure, but it is 4-wheel disc all the way around. Also in the 1500, you get the crew cab. So you get 4 full doors instead of just an extended cab. Both of these vehicles are LQ4 engines, so 6.0 liters. The SO is rated at 300 horsepower, and the Yukon is rated at 335. That one is a 2005, but we'll get to that in just a minute. And actually, I'll pop the hood on this, so give me just a second. All right, so as you can see, 6.0 liter. This one has a 4L80 trans, so it's got the good engine trans combination. This one's considered the cat eye because of the shape of the headlights, which ran from 2003 to 2007. From 99 to 2001, 2002, it was a different body style, which my father-in-law has one of those. And then maybe I'll insert a picture here, but this particular truck, how you see it is how I bought it. So let me close the hood again. Iron cross front bumper that needs redone. Does have a 6-inch lift. It is the LT package, so it's fully loaded on the inside. We've got, yes, it's dirty, I know. My stuff's 20 years old, so heated leather seats, full gauges, with transmission temp, oil pressure, 6-disc CD stereo, dual zone climate control, leather rear seats with full bench, 60/40. So the truck has some nice options. You know, honestly, I drive this thing less than 200 miles a month. It just sits 90% of the time. I do like the truck. I like the 6.0 liter. I'm a big fan of those 6.0 liters, especially with this one having the 4L80. It makes it nice to drive, but this thing rides like a freaking brick. Not gonna lie, it's very rough. It does have, let me see if I can show you. So it does have airbags in it also. So that probably doesn't help the ride on it. It is a crew cab, like I said, with the 6.5. And so, story behind this truck is it was bought out of Washington, or I bought it out of Libby, which is about 60 miles from here. The guy that I got it from bought it out of Washington State at a salvage auction, I guess. It does have a salvage title. And I'm guessing it's the box is a different color than the cab. And the cab's in really good shape. The cab doesn't have any rust or anything on it. But I can show you right here. That it was totaled at some point in time. Now, if I remember right, I did run a Carfax or something on it. It was either totaled in 2006 or 2009. So the truck wasn't very old when it got totaled. Does have, you know, it's plug wires there, a little short bed. Not a bad truck. I put a lot of money into some new exhaust, new springs, new rear shocks. Put those tires on it, the Cooper Cobra Discovery 3s. And I'm not going to lie, the tires actually aren't bad, but this truck gets terrible mileage with no weight, or not mileage, traction with no weight in the back of it, just because of how big it is, and it's such a big tire. They're almost equivalent to a 35. So they're a big tire. I do have a Hypertech programmer that came with the truck, so then I can adjust the computer so that it reads the correct mile per hour and speedometer and stuff according to tire size and that. So that was nice that it came with the truck. It does have the tow mirrors, and you know, we did have a hailstorm here 2 years ago that totaled out 2 of my cars, broke the windshield in this truck. You can see all the hail dimples in it on the hood. The roof's really bad. This one does not have a sunroof, so that didn't get broke. The side of the truck didn't get too terribly bad, so it's just a hood and a roof, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. Already had a salvage title, so I'm not really going to do anything with it. And like I said, I have less than 200 miles a month on this truck. Currently sitting at 197,000 miles. Starts right up every time now that I fixed a bunch of issues with it, but I've got no lights on the dash when it starts and run. Starts good, drives good. I just can't decide what I'm going to do with it. I might get rid of it because of not driving it so much and go back to an older one that can sit and let somebody that needs this crew cab use it. But heated seats work, everything works. The interiors between these two vehicles are almost identical. The front seats out of this and the console will bolt into the Yukon. The dash bezel and everything on this one will bolt into the Yukon. So it is all good. Just needs detailed, but it's wintertime, so I'm not going to do it. We'll give you a quick start. And I've replaced the ignition, and I just replaced the shift lever. That's why the top piece is missing. I haven't got it back on yet. But tack is right there. Yep, just seatbelt light because I don't have a seatbelt on. 198,000 miles on it. And it sounds pretty good with the new exhaust. Typical GM motors, you know, they can go a long time without needing major repairs and stuff if you're maintaining them. I change oil on this thing regularly. It doesn't smoke. It doesn't make a whole lot of noise. It doesn't do anything other than just run and drive, which is what we want it to do. So I'll show you the back seat here real quick. Full-size back seat. So like these seats are out of a Suburban. You could bolt these into a Suburban or a Tahoe or a Yukon or whatever. And this is the first time this thing's been started in a week and a half. So, yeah. And now to the vehicle number 2. This is a 2005 GMC Yukon Denali. Now, why that Denali portion of it is important is it puts it in another trim level class. So, for me, I've always felt that the GMCs were a little more upgraded, a little higher class than the Chevys. So I went Chevy, GMC, Cadillac, right? To me, because this has a lot more options that the LT package on this does, which LT package is one of the highest packages you can get on the Chevy at the time. So in 2005, yes, I know it's dirty. I daily drive this thing. We got snow, so they've got the salt spray and stuff on the roads, and it's cold, so I'm not going to wash it because it will be a popsicle. So anyways, this 2005 GMC Yukon Denali. So the Denali package gives you like body color bumpers, running boards, 20-inch wheels, which I've got the brand new tires on, and I've been waiting for snow so that we can do a test on them. Like I said, I know it's dirty. Never mind. Body colored bumpers. It does have some cladding on it, and this is my only damage on the whole thing. Is there's a dent right there. Different tail lights than the pickup has. The turn signals on the top. I don't know if you can see it over there if I zoom in. See the yellow? Turn signals in the middle on that one right there. We've got rear wiper on this one. We've got tinted privacy glass on this one. Both vehicles have tinted windows. I think the tint in this one's a lot better than that. But I'll walk you over to the driver's door, and you'll see that the interiors are almost identical. Ooh, let's get rid of that beeping noise. So same interior, little different center console. The Yukon's a little more fancier because it's got like this wood trim in it all over the place around here. Same color interior, wood trim around the bezel. Same exact dash. Same stereo and heater system with the option. This has a 6-disc CD changer right there. And a leather wrapped console. I do have quad captain's chairs and third row seating, and the seats are in the back. And then this one has sunroof, which everything in this car works. And just as a reference, I paid $4,500 for the Yukon, paid $4,200 for the Chevy. So I paid about the same for both of them. The has like 172,000 miles on it, and we saw that this has like 198. So this is what I daily drive. The Denali package. Oh, that's the difference. Let me show you on the Chevy. So the Chevy and the LT package, you have a shiftable transfer case, automatic, which I don't ever recommend anybody use the auto 4-wheel drive, because by the time it slips and engages, you could already be in the ditch. So if you know it's going to be slick, just run your 4-high. So the Chevy has the transfer case that's shiftable. The Yukon is all-wheel drive all the time. So just like any other all-wheel drive car. So as you can see, I do not have any shiftable transfer case here. So that's one of the differences. Let me get this hood open. So 2005, the Yukons and the Suburbans, I think I got they're still LQ4s, but they had higher horsepower. They're both cast iron block aluminum headed engines, as far as I know. The Yukon gets a little more dress up on it, cover it up, keep it clean. So now we left for Christmas break, went to Bozeman, which is about 5.5 hours from here, like 250 somewhere in there miles away. I actually averaged about 17 miles to the gallon in the Yukon. We had so many Christmas presents to take over because we went and saw family, and there was a bunch of them, that we could not take the little Buick, which gets 30 plus. But for an all-wheel drive brick doing 80 miles an hour on the freeway, I figured that's not bad. And like I said, I drive this thing every day to work. I love this Yukon. I absolutely do. It's my favorite body style of the years, that 2003 to 2007 body. Those are my favorite ones of the Tahoes and the Yukons. Speaking of the Tahoes, the highest trim level Tahoe, I don't think you can get the all-wheel drive. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's only in the Denali's, and then the upgrade from the Denali would be an Escalade. So Denali's and Escalades get all-wheel drive. I think the Yukons have the Tahoes have the shiftable transfer case. But other than that, they're almost identical, just different trim options. Gauge clusters may have chrome trim rings around them, and like the Yukon, the dash bezels got the wood trim and stuff like that. So they just kind of make things a little nicer. It's all still plastic made parts and pieces in there. I could pull the dash cluster out of this and put it in there and put that one in there and vice versa, and it'd all be the same. Everything would bolt right up, seats would bolt right up and stuff like that. The only difference is wheels are not going to bolt up, because that is a 3/4 ton, this is a 1/2 ton, even though they're both rated at 1/2 ton. So that's a good looking front end right there. Yes, my stuff is 20 plus years old. Yes, I pay attention and maintain them. Everything works the way it's supposed to. Everything I use is done the way it's supposed to. I'm still, like I said, I don't know what to do with the pickup. I put less than 200 miles on it. Do I go to an older carbureted one that's going to sit? Do I go to a OBS 96 to 98 extended cab long box? I do miss the long box. I don't know. At this point, I don't know. This one's paid for. I don't want to make payments on anything else, so I might as well just keep it and drive it. I do maintain it, so both of them. Just did oil changes on both. The Yukon does need plugs and wires put on it. The pickups had plugs and wires put on it. Have not had any issues with coils. I do like the LS's for that, the coil on plug stuff. Oh, I should probably give you a cold start on the Yukon too, so hold on. And Yukon also, 0 lights on the dash. Everything's been fixed. It had a bad wheel bearing when I got it. The rear shocks were bad when I got it. That fades out every once in a while. So the Yukons have air ride on the rear, and I disabled the air ride and went with a regular shock with a coil spring on it. This does have a little beefier sounding exhaust from the factory. So I'm going to leave the exhaust the way it is on this thing. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to leave it 100% stock and just drive it. Like I said, I do like it the way it is. It's very comfortable to drive, very smooth, not nearly as rough as the Chevy, but it's also not lifted and doesn't have airbags and big 3/4 ton 3/4 ton wheels and tires on it, and a heavy duty rear end. This is also a lot smaller rear end, front end, everything about it. I have converted all the headlights and fog lights to LEDs on the Yukon. The Chevy LED fog lights in there, and then it had these halo headlights in it when I bought it. So I'm sure there's a lot more differences between the two, but this is what I can think of off my head. Again, just to reiterate, 6.0 liter with a 4L65E, if I remember correctly. So it's a not quite as sturdy transmission, and it's also the one that's goes out a lot more, the 4L65. This is a 6.0 liter rated at 300 horsepower versus this one at 335. But this has a 4L80 and a shiftable transfer case, where this is not shiftable. So both of them are disc brakes all the way around. This one's just bigger brakes because of being 3/4 ton, designed to tow. So both good platforms. Like I said, if you do any research on the GMT 800s, they say that's one of the best platforms there is. They made 1 million trucks of them in all different ranges. And Chevy, GMC, and Cadillac also used all that platform for the pickups, the Escalades, the Yukons, the Tahoes, the Avalanches, you know, anything full body on frame, on a full truck frame, that's what they were. So you guys, thanks for watching. Welcome to the first video, and I hope you guys like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. One thing I forgot to mention that I'll do now is the 2003 to 2007 is the last year before Chevrolet started putting in the active fuel management, or the displacement on demand, however they want to put it, and started messing up these LS engines and transmissions because of that. I think they switched mid-2007 when they switched body styles, and then they started going to that stuff. So that's why the GMT 800 is considered one of the better chassis or platforms. They got away from all that garbage and BS that they put on the later model trucks. So if you're looking at wanting this, I would suggest 2003 to 2007. I personally like the Cat Eye Chevy in the pickups, and the Yukon, even though it's a Yukon, it's still considered Cat Eye. That's what they called that era. If you need an SUV, Denali, all-wheel drive, depending upon where you live, I guess. For me, up in Montana here, all-wheel drive is awesome. This thing goes everywhere I want it to go with these tires on it. And like I said, I hope we get a whole bunch more snow so I can actually do a test with these brand new Les Schwab branded Mazama open range all-terrains that I had psyched. So far, what little weather we've been in, it's been phenomenal. The only time I've ever spun is at like an intersection that's straight ice. But after, you know, snowpack and this kind of crap right here, you know, this weather, fluffy stuff, it does phenomenal. So thank you guys again. We'll see you soon.